Welcome back, viewers and subscribers. It's your girl, Star Flames, and we're back with another video. In this video, guys, we're gonna talk about Chris Brown not getting out on bail. This is what they are saying at this point in time. And we're gonna go through the details, and the details, it just makes a lot of sense. Now, in case you have missed it, Chris Brown has been arrested in London. He has been arrested for attacking his former manager, hitting him multiple times. And then after Chris Brown committed the crime, he fled the country. He did not, flee the country to say, you know what? I am aware I committed a crime in your country, but I'm going to go back to my country and I'm going to report the crime that I committed there. And I'm going to have my legal team let y'all know that I'm coming back to answer to charges of my crime because I'm aware of my actions. Because the fact of the matter is, you see, you can actually run for refuge if you have the opportunity to do so. If, let's say, you did something wrong in a country, but you believe that there might be some, stipulations in that country that will not give you your full rights, then you can flee, and you can flee for refuge. But the thing is, when you flee for refuge, you have to argue your case. You have to make it known to the local authorities that, hey, I traveled to England. While I was there was an argument between my manager and we ended up in a fight. I hit him a couple of times, and I believe that because I'm a light-skinned black man, they might be seriously harsh on me in England, so I had to come back home to ensure that justice is served in the best way possible. And then he would have gathered his legal team, his local authorities would have advised him that, hey, your country government is aware of this, so we're going to stay over here and we're going to basically supervise what is going on over there with you, so you may return to England, turn yourself in with your legal team, or they can also refer him to good counsel. Chris Brown did not take any of these actions, so he fled the country, and when he committed the crime, he basically did not acknowledge or take any steps to remedy the situation. So as such, when he went back to England for, the kickoff of his tour, you can't commit a crime in a country and then go back years later thinking that, oh, it's just 10 years later, it's not going to be a problem. That's England. England does not work like that. So, when Chris Brown appeared in the magistrate court on Friday, May 16th, they're like, okay, Chris, the charges against you are way too serious to be dealt with the magistrate court, and as such, we have to send you to the Crown Court in England. So, while you're there, you will have a trial date of June 13th, 2025 at the Southwark Crown Court. So, at this court, Chris Brown is going to have his lawyer. He's going to have a jury of 12 to argue his case. Now, why things are not looking good for Chris Brown, and many believe that he's not going to get out, number one thing is that this is England. You cannot commit a crime in England even if you're a local citizen and just walk away, especially if you have a track record of being an aggressor in the past. We know what he did to Riri. The photographs are there. I'm not going to talk about the alleged lawsuits against him by that female, because that lawsuit that I'm talking about, it was proven that the female was lying on him. In that particular lawsuit that I believe one of those media houses had done a documentary on, and he's suing them for $500 million, right? So I'm not talking about that lawsuit, because he has been cleared on that. He had evidence as proof that the girl was just being manipulative, right? So they're going to use this case of Rihanna against him and any other, thing that has been recorded in his country by his local authorities. The Crown Court, they take crimes very seriously. And the reason why it is likely that he's not going to get bail on the 16th when he appears in court is that he is an individual that lacks accountability. He committed a crime in a foreign country, and after he committed the crime, he did not take any action to remedy the situation. He did not try and settle the lawsuit, and with settling the lawsuit with his manager that he attacked, he did not ask for, the manager to drop the charges or anything like that. The Crown Court is a superior court, It's a superior court of records in England and Wales that deals with serious criminal cases. So some of the most serious types of crimes, they're handled by the Crown Court. So again, 12 juror, and the judge is going to also oversee the matter, whether he gets out on bail or not. But because of his past actions and how he dealt with that entire situation, he did not provide or he did not make any attempt to remedy the situation. He did not acknowledge that he committed a crime in another country. He fled to his country, believing that, okay, everything is good. I've traveled back to England. It's all okay. I can just go about my business like that. Absolutely not. They're not going to do that. That's England. England does not work like that. No, what had happened was, Chris Brown attacked a music producer named Abe Diar. He struck Diar multiple times on his head with a bottle of Don Julio 1942 tequila. Now, some people say that Chris Brown struck this gentleman as many as 3 times. And after he struck him 3 times, he continued chasing him through the nightclub and then punching him and kicking him. The lawsuit that Dior filed basically said that Chris Brown left him unconscious and hospitalized with lacerations to his head, torn ligaments in his leg, resulting in permanent damage and severe emotional distress. And he's saying that he has the medical records to back up this statement. This alleged incident took place back in 1993, and Abe Diar filed the lawsuit in October of 2023. So the incident took place, I think it was February 2023, and then the gentleman filed the lawsuit in October of 2023. So in the lawsuit, the gentleman is accusing Chris Brown of using brutal and unprovoked attack. And so he's saying that, so what he's insinuating is that on February 19th of 2023, when Chris Brown attacked him, he did not do anything to cause Chris Brown to attack him. He's saying that he did absolutely nothing to trigger that attack. He's saying the attack was brutal and completely unprovoked. Now, Chris Brown would have to be on drugs or literally be a madman to just attack someone brutally like that if he was unprovoked. So I'm not sure about that part. I don't believe that part. It could be something that was minute to Abe, and because it's so minute, he thinks that it is minute to Chris Brown. But to Chris Brown, it could be a major offense. Do you know how they say what is joke to one person is death to another? It could have been a situation like that. So he basically said that after all the injuries and trauma, that is why he has moved forward with the lawsuit. So Chris Brown hasn't, made any attempts to settle with him. So, and Chris Brown did not report, the incident, because if he had gone to a police station, if he had stick around for them to call the police and say, this is what happened, argue his case, if he was arrested that night, let out on bail, and they say you have to return to court on this date in England, and he was following up with a, court case, then we would not have this happening now. But now he's going to miss out a few of his shows. He's going to have to appear in court in June. And based on the Crown Court, how they handle these cases, they're not seeing where Chris Brown is getting out of jail this year. They're saying maybe early next year before Chris Brown is let out, because he has already proven that if you let me out, I'm not going to stay in your country. I'm going to go back home. So as such, if his legal team, if they're able to get him out of this situation, you know that, and I'm talking like on June 13th, if they're able to get him out on bail, you know that they have put up one hell of amazing fight. So I'm going to keep track of this, because how I know the Crown Court works, they're not going to let him out. Several others have said the same thing. They're not going to let out Chris Brown. So the tour is expected to be canceled, and Chris Brown is expected to be home sometime 2026. But if I'm wrong, I'll come back and let you guys know exactly how it all plays out. But I want to hear from you guys. What's your take about Chris Brown going to England, ended up in a fight, then fled the country, returning to his country, then going back to England like nothing ever happened? Leave a comment below while you're at it. Thumbs up, share, subscribe. Do all you need to do on this video to support your girl. Peace.